Good morning, students. I am to teach you English grammar, and in the previous class, actually, I was discussing about noun, in which I discussed about noun, kinds of noun, and we are again to continue from where we left in the previous class. Today, we have to discuss about two types of noun. You listen in the earlier video, I told you about five types of nouns: common noun, proper noun, collective noun, material noun, and abstract noun. Today, we have to discuss about another two types of nouns. It is called. So now we have to discuss further about two types of noun. One is countable noun and next one is uncountable noun. So what is countable noun? What is uncountable noun? A lot more confusions are also there. A lot more clarities are also there. What is the problem with this? About the definition. And when you apply it in our regular life. Check here what I told you in the previous video, that in the very good thing in English is that the very name suggests its character. The very name suggests itself. What the thing is that from the noun, from the name only you can know. Countable noun, countable what you can count. That is, you have the ability to count them. So countable noun. And uncountable noun, you know, un is added to the word countable. And this is called prefixing the word, and by prefixing the word you generally get the antonym. Not always, sometimes you may get the verb, sometimes you may get the other parts of speech, but generally or most probably by prefixing a word you get the antonym, like possible, impossible, practical, impractical, countable, uncountable. So what is prefix? If you are adding a letter or a few letters before the original word to get some other meaning or to get some other words, it is called prefixing the word. Preliminary fixing, prefix. So here uncountable is exactly opposite to countable. Countable means what you can count, uncountable means what you cannot count. So countable nouns means the nouns what you can count, and uncountable nouns means what you cannot count. But when I was a student also, I have some problem. Uncountable noun means what we cannot count, and we know the stars in the sky we cannot count. Still then it is countable noun. The leaves in a tree, can we count? No, we cannot count the leaves of a tree. Still then it is countable noun. So a little problem was there when I was a student. Perhaps if you have such type of curiosity, you will also be confronted with such type of problems. Perhaps you are also facing such type of confusion. How, if this cannot be counted, then how we include it into the countable section? Similarly, uncountable, we know bread is uncountable, but still then we say by going to a baker's shop, what we say, give me 5 breads, or not 5 breads, in fact in Odia I am telling 5টা পাউরুটি দিতে 6টা পাউরুটি দিতে. That means we say 5 or 6. When we are using bread, we say it or we quantify it by some number numerals like 1 2 3 4 5 6. Then it should be countable because you are counting them. So let me discuss about countable and uncountable, then all these confusion will definitely be eradicated. All such problems or all such confusions will no more be in your mind. So what is countable noun? Exactly check. If you search out the definition in any grammar book, you will find that the nouns that we can count. But you have to add some other features to it so that things will be clear, so that concepts will be clear, so that all the confusion will be clear. Countable noun means the noun which can be represented in terms of number are called countable nouns. What does it mean? Different nouns are there. Noun means what I told you, naming what. Suppose this is marker, this is duster, this is suppose this is paperweight. So these are the nouns. And if we represent any number, any noun in terms of number, that means we can say 1 of it, 2 of it, 5 of it, 7 of it, then it is countable noun. For example, suppose pen. We say a pen, we say 10 pens. Similarly, we say one girl, seven girls. We say one school, five schools. That's why these are the countable nouns. So countable nouns are the nouns which can be represented in term of number. We can say 20 of it, 10 of it, 5 of it. And uncountable nouns which are not represented in terms of number are called uncountable nouns. What does it mean? Here the way we say 5 of it, 10 of it or 7 of it, such type of expressions can never be done in case of uncountable noun. We generally should not represent them in term of number. For example, suppose water. We cannot say 5 waters, 10 waters, 20 waters, etc. Similarly, suppose it is rice. We cannot say 4 rice, 5 rice, 7 rice or 20 rice or 1000 rice. So such are the nouns that should not be or cannot be represented in term of number are called uncountable nouns. Generally we cannot count them. That's why they are uncountable nouns. But it thinks, I am telling you this confusion when we are coming about star, etc. So first what? These things have the singular form and plural form. We can say 1 of it, 5 of it, 20 of it. And in case of uncountable noun, because they cannot be counted, that means in fact they cannot be represented in term of number. That's why uncountable nouns, and because we cannot represent them in term of number, that's why we cannot say 1 of it, 10 of it or 20 of it or 100 of it. So this is uncountable noun. Water, rice, sand, also wisdom, knowledge, all such things are uncountable noun. Air, uncountable noun. Wind, uncountable noun. So these are the uncountable nouns. And we cannot say 5 waters or 10 rice, etc. That's why uncountable noun doesn't have any plural form. Then now coming to the point, what is in term of number? Just in the introduction, I told you that in the sky a lot more stars are there. Stars cannot be counted, still then it is countable noun. Why? Because we say 1 star, 2 stars, 5 stars, 7 stars. In the great Orion there are 7 stars. Saptarshi Mandal, there are 7 stars. That's why because we count them in term of number, that's why it is countable noun. Whenever suppose an astrologer comes to your house, then your mama actually showed him your horoscope. Horoscope, you know? Horoscope means this one. Printed on the palm leaf, and this is actually prepared after you took your bath, and this is horoscope. And going through the horoscope, the astrologer might be saying, actually 2 stars are in the better position, but these 3 stars, because they are in the enemy position, that's why they are creating all types of disturbances. So what I mean to say is that in the process of saying star, we say 1 star, 2 stars, 5 stars, 7 stars, and because we name them or we represent them in term of number, that's why they are countable noun. We say 1 leaf, 5 leaves, 7 leaves. Suppose you put 1 seed in the ground, and when you found that it has already been sprouted and some 3-4 leaves have been come out or sprouted, what you will say? You will go to your mother and say, Mama, actually 4 or 5 leaves have been sprouted out, that's why that plant is going to survive. So we say 5 leaves, 7 leaves, 20 leaves, 1 leaf, and because leaf has the plural form and we represent them in term of number, that's why again it is countable noun. Okay, so this is countable noun and this is uncountable noun. And when I was telling you about bread, we say 5 bread, 7 bread. It is wrong. In fact, we cannot say 5 bread. We can say 5 loaves of bread. Check here. Bread is uncountable in nature, but the shape in which it is available, it is called loaf. So loaf may be of this size, loaf may be of this size. So when we say give me 5 loaf, 5 bread, that means we exactly want to say that ask him to give me 5 loaves of bread. And loaf is countable now because we are counting them in this format. That's why loaf is countable, but bread is uncountable. So bread itself is uncountable, but loaf is countable. Things are clear? So when we ask the baker to give me 5 bread, it is not exactly 5 bread but 5 loaves of bread. So this one is countable now when we are referring bread in the word with the word loaf. So loaf is countable. So this is the thing. So summarizing the thing, what we conclude? If any noun can be represented in term of number, that means we can say 1, 2, 3 or 5, like 5 girls, 3 rivers, 4 ponds, 20 friends. So all these words are the countable nouns. And if anything cannot be, any noun cannot be represented in term of number, that is uncountable noun. That means we can say only water, we cannot say 5 waters. We can say only sand, we cannot say 20 sands. Things are clear? So these are, we can say air, we cannot say 5 airs or 7 airs. That's why these are uncountable nouns. It's okay, then we will discuss a little more. As I told you, countable noun has 2 forms. One is singular form and next one is plural form. One is singular form and next one is plural form. Different ways are there to get the plural, and I am not to discuss or I am not to take more time in this process because you all know about the way how we get the plural form. Let me tell you a little bit only how to get the plural form. Suppose a word is pen, in its plural form it will be pens, and suppose a word is match, in plural form it is matches. That means when you are to get the plural, you have to either add s or es so that you will get the plural. Then how to know whether s will be added or es will be added? Then come to the last phonetics, last pronunciation skill. Pronounce the word and check how the word ends. If the ending sound of the pronunciation is a normal sound, s will be added. If it ends with a stressing sound or hissing sound, remember this one. Stressing sound or hissing sound. Stressing sound or hissing sound. Stress, check here. Match, match, catch, patch. All such word ends with a stressing sound. That's why in the plural it should be added es. You should add es to get the plural form. And how hissing sound? Suppose hissing sound boss. This one is the hissing sound, and because it is boss, so in plural it will be bosses. Similarly, if it is kiss, it will be kisses. So if any word, suppose it is girl, then it is girls. Wait, other ways are also there so as to use es, not always when the word ends with stressing sound or hissing sound, it should be added with es. Because other provision is there, if any word ends with a u vowel, with u, that means if any word ends with o like potato, then in plural it will be potatoes. If any word ends with o, then es is also added. But if it ends with 2 o's, no es is added. Like tomato, suppose bamboo. Potato, tomato, es should be added. But if it is bamboo, then only s will be added. Only s will be added. So this is the thing. So we add s if it ends with a normal sound, but if the singular countable noun ends with stressing sound or hissing sound, then es is to be added. Remember, the noun should be countable noun so that only you can get the plural form. In case of uncountable noun, no plural form is there. Then many other things are also there. By changing the vowel also we can get the plural. For example, suppose man, man, then by changing a we get men. Suppose tooth, this one is singular, by changing o to by changing OO to EE, we also get the plural. Suppose foot, then by changing OO to EE, by changing the vowels we get the plural. Sometimes by changing both vowel and consonant we get the plural. How? Suppose mouse. Suppose the word is mouse. Then M is there, we change U with eyes and we change S to C. Then mice is the plural of mice. Take care, both vowels got changed and the consonant also get changed. This is the way you get the plural. Similarly, louse, L-O-U-S-E, in plural it is lice, L-I-C-E. So, in this way by changing the vowel and consonant, you get the plural. Then, if any word ends with Y, then how to get the plural? Then you have to check the preceding letter of Y. If the preceding means what comes before. If the preceding letter means if before Y, suppose a word and a singular countable noun ends with Y, then for example lady or monkey. Mark the difference in these two words. Both the words end with Y, but here the letter preceding Y is D, which is a consonant, and here the letter preceding Y is E, which is a vowel. So if Y is preceded by a consonant, in that case when you are to get the plural, Y changes to IES. But if Y is preceded by a vowel, in this case when you are to get the plural, only S will be added. Only S will be added to get the plural. That means if any word ends with Y preceded by a consonant in its plural form, Y changes to IES. But when a singular countable noun ends with Y being preceded by a vowel, in that case, despite the word ends with Y, only S will be added. No IES. No, Y should never be substituted with IES. Only S is to be added. Things are clear. So, and sometimes we get the same word to get the plural. For example, suppose sheep, then the plural is also sheep. So, sometimes we get the same word in the plural form also. So, this is the singular and plural form of a countable noun. Then now we have to discuss about the words that go before the countable noun. What words actually go before countable nouns? Many different things go, but we have to discuss about quantifiers here. We have to discuss about quantifiers. Quantifiers means these are the adjectives. These are the adjectives. Quantifiers are nothing but adjectives. What is adjective? When I will come after discussing noun, I will discuss pronoun and then again I will discuss definitely adjective. In that case, I will quite vividly describe all that is the definition of adjective or the types of adjectives also. But now let me discuss only the quantifiers that are used before the noun to describe the quantity, to describe the number of the noun. Actually, quantifiers are of two types. One is adjective of number. One is adjective of number, and next one is adjective of quantity. We have to discuss everything. First one is adjective of number, next one is adjective of quantity. Adjective of number actually qualifies countable noun. Qualifies countable nouns. Countable nouns. And adjective of quantity qualifies uncountable nouns. So adjective of number qualifies countable nouns. Let me write it here. Adjective of number qualifies countable nouns, and adjective of quantity qualifies uncountable nouns. Then what are the words that should be used as adjective of number, and what are the words that are adjective of quantity? First is a lot of. a lot of, here also a lot of. Both a lot of may be adjective of number or adjective of quantity. When a lot of describes a countable noun, it is adjective of number, and when a lot of describes uncountable noun, it is adjective of quantity. For example, I have a lot of pens, and here I have, this one is an example. In previous video also I told you, when you have to write example, never write ex because it means the previous one. So write easy, exempli gracia, it means for example. So for example, it is I have a lot of pens, and here one example maybe maybe I have a lot of sugar. So here check here, the noun is countable noun, here the noun is uncountable noun. And because a lot of describes a countable noun, so a lot of is adjective of number. Here a lot of describes one uncountable noun, that's why it is adjective of quantity. So the word may be same a lot of, depending upon to what it is really qualifying, accordingly it will be called. So when a lot of describes a countable noun, it is adjective of number. I have a lot of friends, I have a lot of books, I have a lot of pens, I have a lot of copies, I have a lot of pencils, etc. Similarly, I have a lot of sugar, I have a lot of rice, I have a lot of water, I have a lot of knowledge in this field. So in all such cases, a lot of describes uncountable noun, so it is adjective of quantity. So now I am telling you, when I am going teaching you, you should copy it down or you should write it down. So let me now write this portion. So a lot of first was used or is used as adjective of number in one case when it describes a countable noun, and it is again adjective of quantity when it describes uncountable noun. Then second one, many here and much here. Many here and much here. Then many is adjective of number, much is adjective of quantity. Many is used to describe countable noun and much is used to describe uncountable noun. How? Example, I don't have many friends in this college. In this college. And here I don't have much knowledge in this field. So mark the difference. Here many is used to describe friends, and because friends is written in countable noun, so it is written in plural form, so obviously it is countable noun. And again applying the same clue, because you say one friend, two friends, 20 friends, 10 friends, 7 friends. That's why, because such word can be represented in term of number, that's why it is countable noun. And now because many describes countable noun, so it is adjective of number. And here I don't have much knowledge in this field. And much is the word here. Much is the word you are describing knowledge, and knowledge is uncountable noun. You cannot say one knowledge, two knowledges, five knowledges. And because knowledge can never be described in term of number, that's why it is uncountable noun. And because much describes uncountable noun, so it is adjective of quantity. Then now, can you mark the difference between a lot of and many? When I was using a lot of to describe both countable and uncountable noun, mark the nature of the sentence. It should always be affirmative sentence or positive sentence. You know, declarative sentences or statements may be of two types, or assertive sentences may be of two types. One is affirmative sentence and next one is negative sentence. I am telling you again, the statement or assertive sentence or declarative sentence may be of two types. One is affirmative sentence and next one is negative sentence. Affirmative, what I told you, the beautiful thing in English is that the word itself says what it is. Affirmative sentence means it affirms a fact, it signifies a sense, it says that this is right, this is yes. And negative sentence, it denies a fact. It denies a fact that it is not that. Suppose I have a pen, affirmative sentence, because I affirms the possession that yes I have. I don't have a marker, that means I deny the fact having a pen. That means I don't have a pen means I did not have any pen. That means no pen is there with me. So in affirmative sentence, if the noun is countable or uncountable, you should supply a lot of. And in the accordingly a lot of may be adjective of number or adjective of quantity. But in case of many or much, you cannot use the same in different sentences unless the sentence is negative. The sentence should be negative, then only you can supply many or much. In case of negative sentence and the noun to which you qualify it is countable noun, in that case you have to use many. But if the sentence is negative having the uncountable noun, you should provide much to describe it. Things are clear? Perhaps I think you are clear. Perhaps I make you understand what is the difference between many and much. Many and much goes in negative sentences, and many goes before countable noun, and much goes before uncountable noun. But a lot of goes before both countable and uncountable, provided the sentence is affirmative sentence is yes sentence. That means no negative sentence it should be. If the sentence is affirmative, whether it is countable or uncountable, irrespective of the nature of the noun, you should supply a lot of. But if the sentence is negative, a lot of should not be used. In that case, you have to choose from many or much. If it is countable many, if it is uncountable much. Then again, many and much also go with interrogative sentence. Interrogative is the word that has been derived from interrogation or interrogate. Interrogate means to ask. So if you are asking a question, it is interrogative. So a sentence that puts a question forward, that is interrogative sentence. So if a sentence is interrogative sentence or question, then many or much can be used. Again, if it is an interrogative sentence and the noun to which it qualifies is a countable noun, in that case you should supply many. And if it is interrogative sentence and the noun given is uncountable noun, in that case you should supply much. For example, suppose, have you many pencils? Have you many pencils? Question mark. Similarly here, have you much? Have you much rice with you? So this one is a question sentence, this one also is a question sentence. And because the nature of the sentence is interrogative, that's why, and the noun is also countable, so many is applied. Here it is one interrogative sentence and the noun to which you should qualify with the word is an uncountable noun, that's why much is supplied. So check here. When the sentence is negative or interrogative, you have to supply many or much, but when the sentence is affirmative, you have to supply a lot of. Things are clear? Now I want to conclude the text. If the sentence is affirmative, close your eyes and supply. So check here. Suppose you have to select from a lot of, many or much. Check here, many other words are also there you have to use. But suppose in a question you have to select anything from these three, and the sentence is affirmative, then close your eyes and throw out a lot of. No need to say the nature of the noun, whether it is countable or uncountable. That means no need to check the noun. If the sentence is affirmative and you have to select any quantifier from these three, then you supply a lot of, whether it is countable or uncountable. Suppose the sentence is she has this rice, and another sentence is she has this pens. So now because the sentence is affirmative, that's why no need to check whether the noun is countable or uncountable. Blindly supply a lot of. So she has a lot of rice, she has a lot of pens. But if the sentence is negative, suppose the sentence is she doesn't have, she does not have, suppose the sentence is she does not have dash rice, and another sentence is she does not have dash pens. And now because the sentence is negative, you cannot supply a lot of. Then what you should choose? You should choose from much and many. Then in that case check if the noun is countable, supply many. If the noun is uncountable, supply much. In this case the noun is countable, so many. And in this case the noun is uncountable, so much. So if the sentence is affirmative, supply a lot of. If the sentence is negative, choose from many or much. In case of countable, many. In case of uncountable, much. Similarly, the question is, if the sentence is interrogative, suppose, does he give away dash sugar? And another sentence is, does he give away how? Does he give away? Does he give away dash sugar? And another sentence is, does he meet or does he invite? Does he invite dash friends? Then now, because the sentences are interrogative, you cannot supply a lot of, because you have to choose from these three. In this case, you have to supply either many or much. Then you have to check the nature of the noun. If the noun is countable, supply many. If the noun is uncountable, supply much. And in this case, the noun is uncountable sugar, then here you supply much. Here you supply much. And now this one is friends, which is countable noun, so supply many. So if the sentence is affirmative, irrespective of the nature of the noun, whether it is countable or uncountable, blindly supply a lot of, provided you have to select either of these three, a lot of, many or much. And if the sentence is negative or interrogative, in this case you have to check the nature of the noun. If it is countable noun, supply many. If it is uncountable noun, supply much. Things are clear? I think perhaps you understood. Then now we will come to the next point. Now we have to discuss Now we have to discuss few, a few, here little, a little. And again, these things are nothing new to you. Few, a few, and little, a little, all these things have already been taught to you in the high school level. Let me narrate a little. Perhaps if you have any confusion, if you have any problem, if you have any doubt, perhaps I may be able to clear that. Few and a few, little and a little. The way I put it here under adjective of number, things are clear that few or a few goes before countable noun, and because I have put these things or these words under this adjective of quantity, so now things are clear for you that little or a little should be used to describe uncountable noun. So few or a few goes before countable noun, little or a little goes before uncountable noun. Then we have to discuss about the difference between few and a few. What is the difference between few and a few? Check here, not that few, because few or a few are used before few and a few are used before countable nouns. So don't think that few means less number of persons, a few means a little more number of persons. No, things are not like this. same number of persons or same number of things are there, how you are considering that, how you are accepting that, what is your mental peace of state, or what is your the way how you are accepting that, how you are considering that. Accordingly, you have to use few or a few. Things are getting difficult for you, I think. I will give you examples so that things will be easy, because you know the best way to discuss anything and to analyze anything is to take examples. I will definitely take examples. If you say or if you ask me, I will take hundreds of examples, no problem. But let me first narrate, then I will come to the examples. Few or a few goes before countable noun. The amount is same, the number of persons or number of books or number of copies or the number of pencils, because they go before uncountable, before countable noun. That's why I am giving you some examples of countable noun. The number of pens, the number of persons, the number of books, the number of friends, it is same. Only how you are taking that. If you are taking it negatively, you should use few. If you are taking it positively, you should use a few. How? I am giving you an example. Suppose I am a teacher, I came to the classroom. Mark the difference. Few means don't think that one or two students or three. Suppose I am to discuss about I am to take one example of student. Don't think that few means 1, 2, 3 students, a few means 10, 20 students. No. The number of students is always 2 or 3. Suppose I am giving one example, check here. Suppose I am a teacher and with the intention to teach in the classroom, I enter the class. And because this is the opening day after the holidays of some 7 days or so, this is the day when the school reopens and this is the first class. And I stepped into the class. My intention is to teach the students, but I found that only 2 students are sitting in the classroom. And the strength of the classroom is suppose 65. The strength of the classroom is 65. But now only 2 students are remain present in the classroom. When I stepped into the classroom, I found only 2 students sitting there. Do you think I will teach? No. Definitely I will not teach, because only 2 students that means in comparison to 65 students I will not teach. Why? Because I know that if I will teach whatever I will teach to these 2 students, and when all other students would come, then again I have to teach it. And because I am so much sympathetic towards my students, so definitely I will teach again. So why should I waste my time by teaching these 2 students? I will discuss this, that, etc. But never I will start any new topic. I will not teach. I will discuss with them because the class is to be engaged. But I will not teach any new lesson because the number of students is only 2. So now when I will be asked by one of my colleagues whether you taught something or not, what I should say? No, I did not teach. Then you will ask why? What I will say? In Odia I will say class में छुआ नांति कहाँ को पचारी. That means can I say no student is there in the classroom? No, because the number of students is 2. And if I say no students are there in the classroom, then the number of students will be 0. But number of students is not 0, it is 2. 2 students are there. When I say number of students, it is because the subject is number, not students. But when I am saying 2 students, here the students is subject, that's why the verb will agree to students, hence it is are. So 2 students are, but the number of students is 2. Things like that. So when I will discuss about subject verb agreement, wait, I will definitely tell all of these things because a lot more things are there so far as subject verb agreement is concerned. But now I am telling you about noun. So because 2 students are there, I cannot say that no students are there. But in Odia I will say Shwanani. But in English what I should say? I should say few students are there. Because I am expressing these two students in a negative way, that's why my sentence should be few students are there in the classroom, that's why I did not teach. So few means in a negative sense. That means I told that students are not there. So few students are in the classroom when 2 students are there in the classroom in comparison to 65 students, which is the total strength of the class. So in this case, because I predict this number in a negative way, so I should say few instead of using no. Because when I will say no student, that means the number is 0, but the number is 2. That's why instead of saying no students are there in the classroom, I should say few students are there in the classroom. That's why I did not teach. And how to use a few? Suppose now the peon came because I did not teach and I said that few students are there and now he understood that no students are there. Then he would come to lock the room. Before locking the room, he peeped into the classroom and after peeping into the classroom, what he found? He found two students are sitting. Do you think he would lock the room? Check here. I did not teach because the number is less, so less in comparison to 65. The strength is 65, only two students are there. So I accept it or I consider this number in a negative way. Similarly, now because 65 students, this is the total strength of the classroom and the peon now came to lock the room and he found that only two students are there. Should he take these two students in a negative way and lock the room? No. For him, two students also bear the importance. That's why he could not or he should not lock the door. So without locking the door, he would go away. Now when he would be asked by the principal about the reason why he did not lock the door, what he would say? Sir, a few students are there in the classroom. How could I lock it? So now he said in a positive way, a few students are there, but to me, I said in a negative way. So two students for me in a negative way, two students for him in a positive way. Why? Because when his intention was to lock the room, his expectation was 0. But with this expectation, two students should be expressed in a positive way. But my expectation was 65 or 60 students in the classroom and I found only two students. So to me, this number is a negative one or equal to no. That's why I expressed two students in a negative way, he expressed two students in a positive way. This is the way how you can use few or a few. If you don't understand, you rewind the video and listen it again, perhaps you can understand. And in that case also, if you don't understand, let me take other examples. Suppose a grand opera, Tulsi opera or like this Vishwakarma, I have not greater knowledge in that field. Suppose one grand party or opera came to a locality and one nataka is to be staged, one play is to be staged and it is so popular. You did not go but your friend went. And the next morning, what you would ask your friend about the number of people, about the number of spectators, you are sure that definitely the spectators should have been thronged into the tent because it is such a huge, that is it was such a hugely hit play and a great opera party it is also. Suppose when he visited, he had the same expectation, but he found that more than half of the seats are lying vacant. Then he would definitely be disappointed at the number of the spectators. Then the next day, what he would report you? Hey, look on Auntie. That means in negative, he would express the number of the spectators. Then should he use few or a few? He should use few. Hey, few spectators were there in the, all the chairs were lying vacant. Few spectators were there. Few spectators were there to observe the play. And so then a few. Suppose a few. Then how to use a few? Suppose your expectation, check here. Why half of the or more than half of the seats are lying vacant, but a lot more spectators were still there. Still then, because his expectation was the total occupation, that means he was expecting that all the seats should be occupied by the spectators, and when he found that half of the seats are lying vacant, he got disappointed, and in that disappointment he is saying the number of, or he is predicting, or sorry, not predicting, he is telling, or he is saying the number of spectators in a negative way. So he should say few spectators are there or were there. But now suppose it is a village party and chilling cold is prevailing everywhere and you are sure that no people would come, but when you went there to see the opera or see the play, you found that the same number of spectators were there. What you saw in case of that Vishwakarma or Parvati or Tulsi, like this. In this case, because your expectation was no spectators should be there, but you found half of the seats are occupied. That's why you should predict, or you should tell it in a positive way. You should say a few students are there. A few spectators were there watching the play. Perhaps this example I could not narrate in a proper way. I am telling you another example. Suppose you are telling about your friend, and your friend is there, and now he wrote a letter that I no more like in this premises. Actually, it is such a boring college. I don't enjoy anymore. I have best friends here. I have best friends here. Then previously what he said, that I don't enjoy the premises of this college, I don't enjoy this environment, it is such a boring college, I never enjoy anything, and I have best friends here. Now tell me, he has friends or he doesn't have any friends? Because he told everything in a negative way, definitely he is saying this sentence in a negative way, that he does not have any friend. But he cannot say I have no friends here, because some of the students might be there with whom he would be talking to them, he would be sharing his copies, he would be asking them about questions or answers, etc. They were not his bosom friend, or he has not accepted him as his friends, but still then a little friendship might be there. But now because he is picturizing everything in a negative way, that's why he would be saying that but in English he cannot say I have no friends, because some of the friends are there, not exactly the bosom friends, but a little bit of friendship might be there being established with other students. That's why instead of saying no, he should use either of these few or a few. But now because he narrated everything in a negative way, this sentence should also be expressed in a negative way. So it should be few. I have few friends. But if on the other case, this is such a lovely college. Initially I was not enjoying here, but now I have best friends and I enjoy a lot. Now I have best friends and I enjoy a lot in the premises. Now because everything has been told in a positive way, this sentence should also be told in a positive way. That's why here you should use a few. I have a few friends. Few and a few same number, only here he is telling everything in a negative way, that's why few. Here because he is telling everything in a positive way, that's why a few. I am telling you, suppose the sentence is in your question paper, suppose it is such a lovely little town, there are dash places. Suppose this is such a lovely little town, this is such a lovely little town, there are dash places to visit. Now this is such a lovely little town, so this sentence definitely says something in a positive way, and you have to select few or a few. Select from few or a few, and because places is countable noun, so you have to select either of them, few or a few. Then in this case it should be there are a few places to visit. Why? Because it is a lovely little town. It is a lovely town. So definitely he is enjoying and he is saying everything, or he is telling everything in a positive way. So it should be there are a few places to visit. But if on the contrary, I will make a little change to the earlier sentence. This is such a boring little town. This is such a boring little town. There are dash places to visit. In this case it will be there are few places to visit. Why? Because the earlier part, this is such a boring little town, this part actually suggests that he is saying everything in a negative way. So this sentence should bear the negativity. That's why few places to visit should be used, because he wanted to say that no place is there to visit. But you cannot say no, because bus stand should be there, bus stand would be there, railway station would be there, a small park would be there, a few restaurants or hotels might be there. Definitely such places will be there. But because he is telling everything in a negative way, that's why he used few. Things like here. So if you are to select from few or a few, you have to select few if you are telling everything in a negative way, and a few if it is told in a positive way. So few means negative aspect, a few means positive aspect. Similarly, the way we use few or a few, similarly we can also use little or a little. How? Little or a little. Now we have to discuss little or a little. Little or a little. The way we used few or a few in sentences with countable nouns, similarly if you are to supply words before uncountable nouns, then you have to select from little or a little. Then what is little, what is a little. The way few is used in a negative way, but a few is used in a positive way. Similarly, little should be used in a negative way, a little should be used in a positive way. How? Again I am telling you, the quantity is same. Because you are using on little or a little before uncountable nouns, the quantity of that uncountable noun is same. If you are taking it in a positive view, with a positive view, it is a little. With a negative view, it is little. How? I am telling you. Suppose this is the jar, and this much of sugar is here. Your papa asked your mama to make 2 cups of tea, and this much of sugar is sufficient to make 2 cups of tea. Then mama will say, it's okay. There is less sugar in the jar, I can manage, but tomorrow you have to fetch some sugar in the market. So now the sentence is, there is less sugar in the jar. Now because 2 cups of tea, you have to prepare 2 cups of tea and this much of sugar is sufficient for it. So now that sentence should be in a positive way. So it is, there is a little sugar in the jar. But suppose the same amount of sugar is there. Papa came with 10 of his colleagues. Papa came with 10 colleagues. That is, they are 12 and mama, they are 11 and mama will also drink tea, sip tea with them. We never drink tea, we sip it. So now Papa came with 10 colleagues and now asked mama to make 12 cups of tea. Now do you think this much of sugar will be sufficient to prepare 12 cups of tea? No. Then mama will say the same thing in a negative way. Mama will say the same thing in a negative way. Mama will say there is little sugar in the jar. Go and fetch some in the market so that I will prepare. Can mama say there is no sugar in the jar? She cannot say because a little sugar is here. Check here. The amount of sugar is there in the jar, but it is not sufficient to prepare 12 cups of tea. That's why instead of saying no sugar, she should say little sugar is there in the jar. So go and fetch some in the market so that I can prepare. Things are clear? So when you are taking this amount in a positive way, it is a little. When you are taking this amount in a negative way, it is a little. Similarly, suppose this is the feeding bottle. You know feeding bottle? It's a small children. Suppose this is a feeding bottle. And your mama told you, hey, go and put the bottle upside down. And there you found that this much of sugar, this much of milk is here. Then what you will shout out? Mama, there is this milk in the bottle. I am telling you 2 occasions. Suppose mama told you this is suppose the glass. It is not the bottle. This is suppose the glass. No, this is the glass. And this much of milk is here. Mama told you to drink. When you return from your school, mama told you, hey, milk milk is there in the glass, you go and drink. Then when you came to the table with the intention to drink the milk, you found that this much of milk is here. Then what you will say? You will report to your mother about the milk in a positive way or in a negative way. Definitely you will report in a negative way, because this much of milk is not sufficient to drink, and because your mama instructed you to drink, so you should report this amount in a negative way. So you should say there is little milk. You should say there is little milk in the bottle. But in the very same way, suppose mama told you to put the glass upside down on the table, and when you came to the table with the intention to put the glass upside down means like this. You have to put the glass like this, and on finding this amount of milk present in the glass, you know this amount is sufficient to spoil the tabletop. So now you will report to your mama in a positive way that some milk is there. So in that case, what you have to say, mama, there is a little milk in the bottle. So when you have to put the glass upside down, your expectation is nothing should be there in the glass. But when you found such amount, you should be put it in a positive sense. So there is a little milk in the bottle. But when your intention is to drink the milk, your expectation was up to this at least. But when you found this much of amount, your prediction, or that means your expectation, this amount is not meeting your expectation, so you should predict it in a negative way. So there is little milk in the bottle. So whether little or a little is to be used, it totally depends upon the expectation. According to the expectation, if it meets, then it is a few in case of countable noun, a little in case of uncountable noun. If it does not meet, in case of countable it is few, in case of uncountable it is a little. It is little. That means few goes before countable noun and little goes before uncountable noun in case you are telling in a negative way. But in case you want to say in a positive way, then a few should be used before countable noun and a little should be used before uncountable noun. Okay, then many more other quantifiers are also there. So in the next video we have to continue this. Okay, thank you all for listening to me. Stay confined and stay safe. Thank you all.